resolutions are about what you hope to do, but declarations are about who you're becoming. And so, how do you do that? How do you create that? Where do I start? The first thing you have to do is you have to start with clarity. You have to get clarity on something that you want to change in your life over the next year. So, for example, if if I want to be more financially sound, I'm going to create that budget. And but I'm gonna limit myself to that one goal that I'm gonna accomplish. Is creating that budget and following that budget for a year. And so you've got to get real clarity. Where am I misaligned? I mentioned earlier about what is it that I need to step into or step out of? There may be something that you're involved in that you feel like that season is over. Like I referenced earlier, is just, okay, taking that to the Lord in prayer. Lord, what is it that you want me to accomplish this year? What do you have for me to align with what you're doing on the earth to accomplish this year? And get that clarity first. Make sure that you have the clarity. Then what we're going to do is we're going to create action steps. What are some small micro actions that you can take to be able to accomplish that? It can be one or two little action steps, but something that is digestible. I think I mentioned before, you can't eat a hamburger all at one time, but you take it one bite at a time. So that's what we're doing with our action steps. We're creating those small micro movements that we can get to accomplish what that goal is. And then finally, the last step that I like to encourage people is create accountability. It can be your spouse, it can be a friend, it can be a coach or a mentor, but having someone in your circle that knows what you're trying to accomplish to cheer you on or to support you if you're struggling, we've got to have that accountability. And so that's what I like to encourage people to do. And just as a point of reference, if you want to click on the link below, I've got a resource that's a printable resource that you can use to be able to download and write out some of these goals, write out what some of your action steps are, write out who your accountability partners are so that you can be successful for 2026 accomplishing what you feel like that you want to accomplish.
Oh, that's wonderful. They're gonna love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, I'm with you. It's the small bites, or and lots of times it's just taking the first step.
Yeah.
I was at the doctor's office yesterday, and there was a nice young man taking my blood pressure, and he was a nursing assistant, but I could tell in our little banter back and forth that he was thinking about doing something more. And I said, "Oh, would you like to be an RN?" And he's like, "Yeah, I kind of thought about it." I said, "Well, the most important thing you need to do is just go take one class.
One class.
Because
What's
you'll
that?
take one, and then if you'll learn if you liked it, then there'll be the next class, the next class, the next class." So just taking that first step.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the small bites are. It's just taking a step and getting motivated. So how does faith play a role in all this? You pretty well said it, but let's just make sure we get it.
Yeah. Faith is pretty important for me. I was I became a born again Christian when I was 8 years old, but I didn't really start practicing my faith until I was much older because I came to a crisis point in my life where it didn't look like I was going to be able to accomplish what I felt like that I was supposed to accomplish. So I cried out to who I knew was God, and it really drew me close to him. And so for me, faith is an important part because if I'm not aligning with who God created me to be, then I'm not going to accomplish what he's set for me to accomplish. And so that's a pretty important part. And so I just encourage people to identify your spiritual walk. What is that for you? What does that look like for you? Make sure that you're not trying to do this alone because we can't do these things created in a vacuum.
Right, right. And it's so amazing when we cry out, he answers.
He answers, he
Yeah.
hears us for
It'll
sure.
just be so amazing how he does that.